So guys, this video is entitled 12 Years in Thailand. This is my 12th year in Thailand, and it will be my 12th anniversary of being married also. Let's wind it back to the start. I was working for Chevron Oil in Pembroke in the UK, and my friend at the time, Mal Matthias, said to me, you need to go to Thailand for Christmas. You live on your own. Get yourself out there. It's one big party. There's plenty of great bars, great people out there, and you'll love it. And he told me the hotel to go to in Pattaya. He told me the bar to go to around Jameson's, which was around the corner from there, and go in there. So anyway, so I took my holidays. I added an extra couple of weeks. Spoke to my boss. He was great about it. And I flew out to Thailand on my first trip. Mal joining me 2 weeks later after Christmas, which he was spending with his kids. Now I got there, got the taxi to the hotel. Hotel was fantastic. It was expensive at the time. It was 72,000 baht for a month. So you work that out. But I thought it was expensive anyway. But the hotel was incredible. It had its own kitchen in the room. It had a massive living room, massive bedroom, great balcony, rooftop pool, which was fabulous. And the staff were wonderful. Probably the best staff I've ever seen at a mid-range hotel to high-range hotel ever, to be honest. And they made you feel really welcome. Took my day out, went outside, went round the corner to Jameson's bar, went in. Immediately welcomed by the owner, Kim Fletcher, a lifelong friend still to today. And I found and met many expat people in there, again, still friends to this day. And a great time was had by all. Now, Christmas was wonderful. They had an incredible Christmas dinner and whatnot, and everyone was friendly and never seen a bit of trouble in there. I used to go in Jameson's in the afternoon. I used to go out and explore as well. And then in an evening, I'd go out elsewhere around town and have a look around. And very often, Kim, the owner, would let his driver take me to the other bars, which shows what an incredible guy he was. You know, taking a customer who was spending a lot of money to another bar. So it worked out well all round. Now, anyway, I went out, had my first break. Mal came out, we had a great time, brilliant. Still got lifelong memories. Went back a couple of times, 2 weeks, and then I moved out to a job in Kazakhstan. Now that job was month on, month off. Now, month on, month off's great if you've got family or you're married. But I was single. I was living in Swansea, in the marina. Beautiful place to live. Again, fantastic people, loved it there. But I found out I had too much time on my hands and nobody was off work, so I was sort of twiddling my thumbs a little bit, wasting money on stuff I didn't need, and I decided to use that money and go out to Thailand on my month off. So I started flying straight to Thailand. Now, one evening I was in a restaurant in a hotel I was staying at Mind Hotel, which was near Jameson's again. I didn't stray far from the pub, and there was like a teachers' party there, for teachers only. They told me I couldn't go in the restaurant that night. Excuse me. So yeah, great, okay. So I went out for a few beers, came back, and I saw this lady sat outside in the foyer, and she looked a bit upset. So I was a bit pissed, to be honest with you, a bit drunk, a bit merry. Had some balls. I walked over and said, "Are you okay? What can I, are you sure you're okay?" And she was almost in tears. She said, "Oh, my taxi hasn't come to take me home to Satahip." I said, I didn't even know where Satahip was, to be honest. I said, "Oh, how far away is that?" She said, "Oh, about 25 kilometres away." I thought, "Oh, Christ." She said, "Oh, my father's supposed to have booked me a taxi and it hasn't come." Now, obviously, fearing a scam, I'm not that stupid. I know how Thailand works. I kept on, but her English was perfect, absolutely perfect. And she's a very attractive woman. So I said, "Oh, I'll wait with you 10 minutes if you want." So I sat down talking, and general chit chat. And anyhow, this taxi didn't turn up, so I said, "Let me see if we can sort something out with the hotel. You spent a lot of money here tonight. Maybe they can take you home, you guys." And they wouldn't do anything, but they would get me another taxi. And I said to them, "Okay, get a taxi stick it on my bill or whatever, and I'll sort it out. And I'm going to lose. I think it was 800 baht, something like that. It wasn't a lot, 20 quid. So I went over to the girl and said, "There's a taxi coming for you right now. We'll put you in it. It'll take you home. It doesn't need money, guys. It's some company they booked through the hotel." And she nearly started crying. Thank you. Anyway, I walked outside, bid her good night, no more thought of it. Off she went. I thought, I've either been scammed or I've done a good deed for the day. Right, so goes to bed, wakes up in the morning, dip in the pool, breakfast, wonderful, walk back into the fire, and the girl sat there. And I was like, oh no, she's a scammer. She's doing it to everybody. And I went over and I said, "Are you okay? Why are you back here?" She said, "Oh, I got the bus. My father sent me with the money here in the envelope, 800 baht for you." And I was like, oh my God, I couldn't believe it. Honestly, I couldn't believe it. She was a decent person and she'd done the right thing, I didn't ask for the money back, I'll tell her to bring the money back or anything, but there she was. And we've been together ever since, weirdly. Fate, love, all that stuff rolled into one. I said to her, "Do you want to go out for lunch?" Oh, it was early in the morning, so we went and had a bit of a swim and whatnot. She didn't have a costume, so I went and got a swimming costume, this, that and the other. Went back to the hotel, had a swim, went and had lunch, and that we just basically rolled on from there. And I had finished my holiday. It was Songkran coming up, and I think it was I'd only been there a couple of days. So the second weekend I said, "Oh, I don't want to be around with Songkran, I can't stand it, it's not my cup of tea at all." She said, "I'm exactly the same." So I booked a hotel called Sisan Sun up near Bang Sarai. It wasn't far from Bang Sarai, about 15 kilometres away. We went up, she came up, she went and got some clothes, blah, blah, blah. We met at the hotel, we had a fantastic couple of nights, absolute bliss, honestly. She was interesting, she was fun, she was telling me all about her job and her family and whatnot. Her father was the head of the Thai Marines, and still was up until last year, 30 years service. Hell of a guy, hell of a guy. And that was that. I was going home. She wouldn't let me take a taxi back to the airport. She got a friend, her mum got a friend. All right, I didn't say. On one of those nights at Sisan Sun, her mother and her grandmother came to dinner. I invited them, I wanted to meet them, I wanted them to know that their daughter was safe and whatnot. And they came up and they were lovely, and they'd never been anywhere like that before, they'd never seen anything like that before, they'd never eaten food like that before. But they had a nice time, and they both turned up, they were very, very respectful, and I loved them. I thought they were nice people, the whole of them. So anyway, next day I'm going home, and her mother had sorted out with Patty for one of their friends to come in their car and take me to the airport in their pickup. So me, Satya and her mother and the people who were taking us to the airport, off we drove to the airport. Halfway there, she was holding my hand all the way, obviously a little bit upset because I was going home, which was nice. And I said to her mother, "Don't worry, I'm coming back, blah, blah, blah." And they both wondered, you could both see the wonder in their face, wondering if it was a one-off and they'd been used and this, that and the other. And to be honest with you, I was slightly, I'm not heartbroken, but I was very upset when I left at the airport and said goodbye to her and went to get my flight back to work. I was only going to be away 28 days. So when I was in the airport waiting to go back to Kazakhstan, I was already booking my flight to come back again for another 2 weeks. And then I was going to fly to the UK, do my business there and whatnot, and this, that and the other. Flew back to Thailand. She couldn't believe I'd come back, and I booked a hotel again in Pattaya, and she basically came and moved in. Going to school in the week. She went to school about 4.5 hours away up on the Cambodian border. So I'd drop her off on the motorbike up by the bus, and she'd get the bus all the way to work every week. Anyhow, one of those weekends, I said to her, I had been looking for property in Thailand, but I'd read up a lot about Bang Sarai. I said, I'd like to go up and see Bang Sarai. So we went up to Bang Sarai on the motorbike, blistering suntan all over me, it was too hot. And we went to see a home there, and the guy who was selling the homes on his estate, and he said he wanted 5.5 million for this house. It was beautiful, swimming pool, everything I could never have in the UK. Pool, office, everything was just really nice area. And I bought it on the spot. I did a deal with him. He said I could pay him off over 3 years. I gave him a 1.5 million baht deposit, and he gave me the keys to move straight in. So obviously it was furnished slightly right through. So it was a bit of a shock to both of us, and she was over the moon, obviously, and whatnot. And I said, "Do you want to come and live with me? You know, would you like to live with me?" And this, that, and the other. And she said, "Yes." I couldn't think of anything nicer, and you know, I'd obviously done something right. And that was that. We moved in. I started living from there. I sold my house in the UK eventually, made 45 grand profit, paid that off the house straight away. And I was working, earning good money away, so we soon had that house paid off and whatnot in a company name, because you've got to be careful, you know, you don't throw your eggs in one basket. And that was that. We stayed there for 5 years, I think, yeah, for four and a half years. I built a gym on the house, extended it, built a gym, did a lot of work on there, changed all the windows, did this, that and the other. And then we sold it. We made about 1 million baht, which is £22,000 profit, which was great. And we moved into our new house where we are now, the 5-bedroom, detached, 800 square meters of land, and our dream home really. Electric gates, pool, plenty of room, all open plan. Just a dream place really. I built a big gym out the back, which I significantly put it in half and built another little house out the back. I extended one of the bedrooms to make a family room, and we started doing a little business where people would come out on holiday and stay with us, and they get all our experience of being around the area. And we rented a car, hired a car, and we worked like that. So 12 years later, this is where we are now, and I've never been happier, I've never been more content, I've never been more peaceful, I've never been more at one with myself. I love Satya more than life, more every day. She's a fantastic person, and the way I was leading my life beforehand, if it wasn't for her, I think I'd be dead now, if I'm being honest. So there it is, guys. It's a simple story, but it's a great story, and I say it's probably a story that saved my life. And I met the woman who is now my wife and my partner, and you know, everything that it could ever be. She is that to me. So there you go.